Hello, welcome back to Sim by the Mile. We are on the Manchester Airport commuter line, and today we're going to be taking the Class 66 on a little freight run from Manchester Piccadilly down the line to Alderley Edge. And while we're on the way, we'll have a little chat about what's going on with Train Sim World, the big announcement of Train Sim World 6, and also the upcoming, this week, Class 86 for the West Coast Main Line. So I hope you all stick around. First things first, we need to get our cab set up. I need to remember how to set up the Class 66 because it's been a little while since it's been in it. Pretty much should be a straight run. I'm not sure which way it's going to take us down. Get the brakes off. For some reason on the rail driver it likes putting the window wipers on when I use the rail driver controller. Okay, so brakes are off. Forward. Give us some power and hopefully we start moving. There we go. Was the indie brake. So we'll start pulling out here from Manchester Piccadilly. I'm not sure if we're going to be going down the main line or we're going to be going down the airport line itself on this scenario, but I mean, Manchester Piccadilly when it's busy is excellent. I mean, we got the Avantis there. We had a substitute Trans-Pennine express train on the platform 14, which was outside of us, going the other way. And I have to say, what they've done on this route is spectacular. Is really, really good. Alan Thompson Simulations has done an excellent job with this route. But today we're going to be looking towards the future because we have our next rendition of Train Sim World is going to be coming in the not too distant future. The official announcement a couple of days ago, last week now, they announced the arrival of Train Sim World 6. Not said yet what's going to be included, but there is a Dovetail Direct, 26th of August I believe, where they'll be going through the full announcement for the new game and letting us know what routes are included, along with what rolling stock. From the release on the timetable, it looks like they're going to be giving us 3 different routes, probably the standard European route, German route. I say European or German, it could be either or. I know they've been branching out into different places like Holland, Austria, probably a US route, and also probably a British route as well. And I'd imagine each route will have a deluxe edition that we had this year, where each route will come with a certain type of rolling stock. This year, obviously, we got the West Coast Main Line, and we had the additional rolling stock of the Pendolino coming into the game. As an example, on the German route, you got the green train, I can't remember what it's called, Flix train, things like that. So, yeah, it's a very exciting time. I imagine the release for Train Sim World 6, completely speculation because I don't know this, but for certain yet. But last year, it came out about the release for the new game came out towards the end of September. A few weeks after the Dovetail Direct was released. I think it was the last Tuesday in September, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong there, but around about that time. I imagine it'll be a similar thing this year rather, where we get the Dovetail Direct release, the announcement. We have a few weeks to a month basically to build up the excitement, and then I'm predicting the last Tuesday in September will be the release date. Again, could be completely wrong, but that's where I'm predicting the release date comes from for this scenario, for this new version of the game. As for what we'll see, I have no idea. I'm excited though. I think we might get a Florida line route coming. I know people suggested Miami, maybe Bright Line, bringing a new license into the game with it. That would be really cool to see. for UK routes, I'm kind of hoping we get something in the southwest. Maybe Exeter to Bristol, or... I mean, ideally, what I'd like to see is Exeter, Bristol, rather, all the way down to the Riviera line in Peyton, and it includes Exeter and the Riviera. Then they could include, say, a cross-country Voyager. If cross-country still do that route, I don't know. Or a GWR Voyager, for example. That would be really nice to see come over to the sim. As for European routes, I don't really play any, so I don't have much opinion on that. But I'm sure, I'm sure there's still excellent routes in Germany they could release. So yeah, it'll be exciting. I'm not really keyed up on the German stuff. And we do have a 45, so looks like we are taking the airport branch today. We'll hop out the track as we go past the Asda. And frames are dropping a little bit there. Not sure why our frames are dropping. Normally the FPS on this route, I'm back to 50 now. I'll say normally my FPS on this route is really, really good. I mean, it's going to be a little bit lower just because I'm running recording software on the same system. But yeah, that was a strange little frame drop. Anyway, it's sorted itself now, and we're back up around the 45. And to be fair, we don't really need 60 frames per second playing a train sim or a flight sim. 30 frames per second is more than acceptable, so 45 will do nicely. We are taking the curve here at Styal Line and going off directly down the airport line itself. If you want to see what this line is like in real life, by the way, don't forget I do have a full trip video from Manchester Piccadilly to Manchester Airport on a class 331, I believe, taking this branch line down, and you get to see basically what all the stations are like, what all the stops are like. So if you want to do a comparison, for example, and see what Alan Thompson Simulations got right, what they got wrong in terms of things such as the scenery, go check that out. It's a really good video, I recommend it. And also, if you want to get some more Manchester Airport action going as well, I do also have a video from Manchester Airport looking at the takeoffs and arrivals, bit of plane spotting, including the magnificent Airbus A380. Again, go check that out. You'll find the descriptions down below. So yeah, we're just going through the scenery. Helped here to Mulduff Road. I'm kind of curious, just as we get to Mulduff Road, if you watch the line video, there is like a big B&M, but you can see just to the side here, it used to be B&Q, it's B&M. I'm just wondering if they actually got did they represent that in the scenery on the airport branch? So let's have a look on the Styal Line. Here's the bridge, so it should just be here. I think that's the car park. And this should be, yep, it's right there. I'm not sure what branding they've got on there, but it's nice to see little touches like that. If you know the area, be able to pick up local landmarks. So outside of Train Sim World 6, if you are all excited, there's still some content still to come here in Train Sim World 5. We have releasing, I believe, Tuesday this week, in fact, the new train from Just Trains for the West Coast Main Line over Shap or Carlisle to Preston, whatever they call it in this route, and it is the Class 86, the little sister, shall we say, of the Class 87 that came with the West Coast Main Line. Very tricky little train to drive, probably one of the more complex trains to drive in Train Sim World because of the way the power system works in it. I've been getting a little bit of practice in the Class 87 with that in mind, that's coming out. Just using the notch up, notch down and the motors and things like that. So yeah, that'll be something that will be coming to the channel. I've not done much content on the West Coast Main Line, Carlisle to Preston, but I will be looking forward to getting my hands on that being able to get some action in the Class 86 and do some videos. There will be a full review video as well on the Class 86, answering the age-old question, is it worth it? So again, that's something to stick around for in the future. But let me know, how are you feeling regarding the newer content coming out? Are you excited for the Class 86? Again, there's still some other things to be released between now and probably the end of September, when we get the expected release of Train Sim World 6, and that is again a pack for the Birmingham Cross City line, with 2 new liveries and 2 new versions of the Turbo Star, including cross country coming back to the game. So that's really nice to see the cross country license coming back into Train Sim World. And that brings us on to the last little topic to talk about today. While we enjoy the rolling Manchester scenery, we've just gone past Piles Ward. We get this East Didsbury, we get this apartment block there we used, and then the River Mersey below us, heading out towards Liverpool. And this is one of my favourite little sections where we cross over the M60, and you get this maze of roads that the rail line kind of cuts through. But yeah, Train Sim World 6, one thing they did announce, sadly, is it looks like the Peninsula corridor route, due to the CAL licensing, is not going to be coming over to the new game. And that's really disappointing if they can't find a way to bring that content over. If you buy a route or you buy DLCs, and those DLC locals for that particular route, you expect to be able to play that content. And now Dovetail have this marketing strategy where every year they'll release a core update to the game. That core update to the game will be basically rebranded as the next version. It's not really a new version, it's just a new update, but that's the way they brand it, and that's why we have Train Sim World, Train Sim World 2, 3, 5, 6, whatever number we're on, and I'm sure they'll keep that up in the future. But the fact is, you have bought that, and they did a sale before they lost licenses earlier this year. If you bought that content and Peninsula Corridor and the Caltrain engines right before the license expired, well, they could still sell them. You obviously bought that content with the expectation that that is going to be going into the new version of the game. And then to see or find out that actually no, because of that license issue, they're not allowed to port that over to a new version of Train Sim World. You either would then be stuck having to keep Train Sim World 5 installed just to be able to play them particular brands, or potentially, be locked out of that content. The only way they can get around the licensing issue is if they re-release the content unbranded, which is probably the best workaround, and hopefully that's what they're able to do. But this raises the question with licenses in the game, and for example, last year they licensed the West Coast Main Line with Avanti, and the Avanti Pendolino was sold as a separate loco. They lose the Avanti license when we go to, say, Train Sim World 7, Train Sim World 8, Avanti pull out their license. Oh, is that content that people have bought going to be locked away from them now? This is something that is absolutely serious, because and it's really something they need to get a grip on. You see just to the right there, that's the branch off to Manchester Airport. But yeah, it's really something Dovetail really need to get a grip on and work out what they're going to do. Because if it can happen to Caltrain, unless they've reworked the licenses since then, because I know it was old DLC when Peninsula Corridor was released, is this going to be something that's going to affect future DLCs? I don't know. And then why would you spend money on buying DLC for this game, Train Sim World, this platform, if potentially they could just take it away in the blink of an eye? So I am hoping it is something they do look to fix. I was just slowing down then because I noticed on the hood we did have a yellow light. It has gone to green. But yeah, I really hope it is something Dovetail managed to work out, and yeah, if they get rights to keep selling old products with that license, hopefully that'll be ideally the ideal way to do it. If they can't do that, they at least have it set up the game so they can what would you say, put the content out there unbranded like we have with some trains in the game. I mean, at that point the Content Creator Club, if it's unbranded, could step in and release the livery for it, and they're not selling the product, they're just selling the train, and then content creators make deliveries, which they do already. That's probably the ideal situation for Peninsula Corridor. As I say, they release it unbranded, and then we get content creators, the Content Creator Club, on the game, creating the Caltrain liveries to be applied to that stuff, and that way you can still use it correctly if you own that content, and they'll be able to then put Peninsula Corridor and its related DLCs back on. I need to remember how the brakes work on the Class 66. It's so annoying that the window wipers keep turning on when I use the rail driver. Right, yeah, that's how it works. So we need to use apply and release. I know we've got to switch tracks just here at Wilms though, so... It has been a while since we've we're going to come to a complete stop because of how I broke that there. There we go. Now we're moving. It might be slightly to do with the rail driver controller as well, because I know sometimes it can have difficulties, the controller. I only wanted to get down to 50, I ended up stopping entirely. But yeah, the Caltrain license, it does bring up an interesting scenario, and hopefully they get it fixed, and unbranded is probably the way they'll go with it. But we'll have to see what the future holds with that particular DLC. I do own Peninsula Corridor. It's actually a DLC that I own. I can't remember when I picked it up. Probably with a older copy of the game, because I think it was maybe Train Sim World 3 it was released with. I can't remember now exactly. I think it was a core route at some point. But it's never actually played it, so maybe before Train Sim World 6 is released, if that content isn't going to come over, we'll take a little trip along the Peninsula Corridor and see what it's like. I know a lot of people seem to say it's one of the better US routes in there, and some of the other US routes I do quite enjoy. I enjoy the Boston stuff, Boston Sprinter Indian, the new one that came out this year, MBTA, which you can find a review of as well on the channel, asking the question, is that worth it? Spoiler alert, it is. It's a spectacular route, going up to Worcester from Boston. But yeah, so maybe Peninsula Corridor is something we'll have to go back and take a look at. So just a mile away now from Alderley Edge, where we're stopping in the Class 66. So we'll start bringing this down to a halt. We're only going at 31 miles an hour, so as long as I remember how the braking system works in this train, we shouldn't have any issues getting us stopped at the end of the platform. I don't have AWS on this service, I'm not sure where our AWS systems are. I imagine up here somewhere. I know where they are in the class 323, not to turn safety systems on that. I don't really use the class 66 that often, as you can probably tell by how badly I've driven this today. I would like to see something that would give us a bit more UK freight as well, though. I do actually... Guilty pleasure of mine in the train sim world is I actually do enjoy doing freight stuff. I actually kind of enjoy for a nice relaxing Sunday morning drive, booting up like Horseshoe Curve or some of the US freight routes. And just they're nice, they're slow, they're relaxing, you know. Had a heavy night on the Saturday, you wake up and enjoy a nice cup of coffee and sit and just have a nice chill out, slow ride in the sim. It'd be nice for to see some more UK freight things coming in. I know we had the pack for Northern Transpennine, and actually, spoiler alert, I was doing that off camera before today. I was doing a little run on the Northern Transpennine route, doing a oil tanker run on the class 45, I believe it was. And that was fun, and that's what made me thought, you know what, we've got the new line, we've got the Manchester Airport commuter, we'll load it up, take a little ride down the track, and just talk about what's going on in the world of train sim. So we have to stop now. I was going to say we got to apply the brakes, there we go. We're going to stop way short, but it'll take it. So there we go, that's the scenario done. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time for more Train Sim World content though. But for now, goodbye.